Have you ever prayed for something you desperately needed, healing, breakthrough, direction, only to feel like heaven was silent, like your prayers were hitting the ceiling? It's in those moments we often ask, God, why are you delaying? But what if that delay isn't punishment? What if it's preparation? When God delays, He's not ignoring you. He's strengthening you. Just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not in His plan. God's delays are not denials, they are divine setups. Think of a seed. When you plant it, you don't see anything on the surface right away. For weeks, maybe months, it looks like nothing is happening. But beneath the soil, roots are growing deep, foundations are forming, and the seed is preparing for life above the surface. If you judge the seed by what you saw on day one, you'd think it was dead. But it was only delayed, not denied. Faith grows the same way. Faith is not built when everything is instant. Faith grows strongest in the waiting, in the not yet, in the moments where you have no choice but to trust God's timing. If He gave you everything you asked for right away, your faith would never stretch, your character would never mature, and your trust in Him would never deepen. Look at Abraham. God promised him a son, but he waited 25 years before Isaac was born. Why the wait? Because God wasn't just giving Abraham a child, He was making Abraham into the father of nations. He wasn't just answering a prayer, He was building faith that could carry a destiny. Delay forces us to ask, do I trust God's plan, or do I only trust His hand? If you only trust God when He moves quickly, your faith is shallow. But if you can trust Him when nothing makes sense, your faith is strong. Here's the truth. When God delays, it's never wasted time. He is developing endurance, patience, and strength within you. He's teaching you to walk by faith, not by sight. He's aligning circumstances you cannot see and preparing you for blessings you cannot yet handle. So if you're in a season of waiting, don't confuse God's silence with His absence. He is closer than you think, working deeper than you know. Trust the delay. It is shaping your faith for the future He has prepared. To train your aura to attract wealth, you must first cleanse it of the poisons that block prosperity. Fear, envy, resentment, and doubt. They cling to your energy like rust on metal, corroding your natural magnetism. Every time you tell yourself you are not enough, every time you compare yourself to another man and shrink in his shadow, you are dimming your own frequency. The first discipline of the wealthy is not to accumulate money, it is to guard their inner state. They know that fortune follows the man who refuses to poison his spirit with negativity. Look back through history, and you'll see the same principle alive in every titan. Henry Ford faced failure after failure before building the automobile empire. What set him apart? Not luck, not chance. His aura radiated belief so strong that even when others mocked him, even when engineers told him his idea was impossible, he persisted. Ford did not merely think wealth, he became the vibration of inevitability. And because his aura carried that certainty, the world eventually rearranged itself around his vision. You too must train your aura to become undeniable. Every morning when you wake, your aura reflects the state of your first thoughts. If you rise in worry, your aura broadcasts scarcity all day long. But if you rise in gratitude, in vision, in faith that today will open doors, you shift your frequency immediately. Gratitude is the great tuner of wealth. It aligns your energy with increase instead of lack. Say aloud, I already live in abundance. Speak it until your cells believe it. Because wealth is not something you chase on the outside. It begins with the inner resonance you carry everywhere you go. Understand this. People feel your aura before they hear your words. Business partners sense your certainty or your fear. Employers notice your energy before your resume. Investors read your vibration before they read your plan. If your aura is weak, scattered, or filled with doubt, they pull away without knowing why. But if your aura radiates confidence, clarity, and wealth consciousness, they lean in. They want to be near you, to trust you, to follow your lead. That is the hidden force of prosperity, the aura that precedes your actions. Napoleon Hill called this the mastermind principle, not just aligning with others, but aligning your own inner frequency so powerfully that others harmonize with you. Imagine a tuning fork. Strike one, and another nearby begins to vibrate in resonance without being touched. That is how a trained aura works. Your wealth vibration activates prosperity in others, and together you create opportunities that could never exist alone. But here's the truth. Training your aura is not a one-time act. It is a discipline. Just as a body must be exercised, your aura must be strengthened daily. Through meditation, through gratitude, through affirmations, through decision, through service, you condition your energy to hold its frequency even when storms surround you. Because storms will come, doubt will whisper, failure will knock. The untrained aura collapses under pressure. The trained aura grows stronger in it. My friend, the greatest riches of life do not come to those who chase desperately after gold, but to those who learn to tune their minds to the frequency of abundance. For wealth is not merely money. Wealth is joy, gratitude, generosity, and peace of mind. These are the true foundations upon which fortune rests. The man who possesses millions but lacks gratitude is impoverished in spirit, while the man who feels joy and thankfulness even with little is already rich. You may ask, what is this wealth frequency? It is the vibration of thought and emotion that aligns you with opportunities, resources, and people who carry you toward prosperity. It is not a trick of chance. It is not mere positive thinking. It is conscious intention joined with emotional alignment. Observe those who seem to attract fortune effortlessly. They are rarely those who live in complaint or fear. Instead, they radiate confidence, joy, and generosity. By their very nature, they draw toward them partners, ideas, and wealth. Their secret is not luck, it is alignment with the frequency of abundance. Now let us speak of the inner dial. Imagine, if you will, that your mind is like a great radio receiver. Every thought is a station. When you tune your dial to fear, you receive nothing but static, setbacks, and missed chances. When you tune it to faith and gratitude, you hear the clear broadcast of abundance. The question is, where is your dial set? You can shift it deliberately. Through mindfulness, meditation, and conscious breath work, you quiet the noise of fear and raise your frequency. Through gratitude journaling, you train the mind to focus on blessings instead of lack. Through visualization, you create a mental picture so vivid that your subconscious accepts it as reality and sets in motion the forces of achievement. But to stay aligned, you must also release the chains that hold you down. Limiting beliefs, I am not worthy, money is scarce, success belongs only to others, are nothing more than static disrupting your signal. Replace them with faith and conviction through daily autosuggestion. Tell your mind what must be true until it accepts it as fact. Say to yourself before you sleep each night, I am destined for wealth, success, and greatness, and nothing can stop me from achieving it. Speak it with emotion, for emotion is the spark that ignites belief. And belief, once rooted in your subconscious, becomes unstoppable power. My friend, understand this. Sleep is not an end, but a beginning. The subconscious mind works while the conscious mind rests. The thoughts you impress upon it before slumber are the blueprints it builds into your life. Plant gratitude, joy, and faith, and you will awaken to opportunities you never imagined. But there is more. Alignment within is not enough. You must broadcast your signal outward. Your words, your actions, your associations, all these are part of your broadcast. When you speak affirmations with conviction, you strengthen your frequency. When you spend money intentionally, not fearfully, you affirm abundance. When you give back generously, you open the channels of circulation through which wealth flows more abundantly to you. Surround yourself, too, with high-frequency individuals, men and women of vision, optimism, and courage. Their energy will amplify your own. Avoid the company of the fearful and the bitter, for they will drag your dial back into static and scarcity. And when opportunities appear, as they surely will once your signal is strong. Seize them quickly. Wealth whispers first as a small idea, a faint introduction, a sudden insight. Move with decision, and you prove to the universe that you are ready to receive more. So I say again, tune your dial, broadcast your signal, and speak your destiny each night before you rest. For you are the master of your frequency, and your frequency is the magnet of your fortune. What if the very thing you're frustrated about, the unanswered prayer, the closed door, the waiting season, is the very thing God is using to prepare you for the blessing you've been asking for? Sometimes God delays because He's protecting you. What you think you're ready for could crush you if it came too soon. A blessing at the wrong time can feel like a burden. That's why God withholds until the timing is perfect. Think about David. He was anointed king as a teenager, but he didn't sit on the throne until years later. In the gap, he faced lions, bears, and giants. Why? Because the crown requires character. The delay wasn't rejection, it was preparation. David's private battles prepared him for his public destiny. God does the same with us. Maybe He hasn't opened that door yet because He's teaching you discipline. Maybe He hasn't released that relationship yet because He's growing your identity in Him. Maybe He hasn't brought the breakthrough yet because He's fortifying your faith. The truth is, God's delays are often disguised training grounds. He is developing the strength in you to carry what He's about to release to you. If He gave you everything you prayed for too soon, you might give up when the weight of responsibility hits. But by waiting, you'll be ready to not just receive the blessing, but sustain it. And here's something powerful. Delay refines your desires. In waiting, you discover whether you want God's will or just your own. When prayers aren't answered right away, you're forced to press deeper, to seek His presence more than His presence. That's when faith matures. Isaiah 40:31 says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles." Notice, it doesn't say those who rush ahead or those who give up, but those who wait. Waiting renews strength. Waiting builds endurance. Waiting transforms you from weak to warrior. So if you feel delayed right now, don't despise it. Delays are divine training grounds. They are God's way of saying, I'm preparing you for something greater. Hold on to faith. Because when the breakthrough comes, you'll realize the waiting wasn't wasted. It was working.